Day 121, Part 2, Notes on Tornadoes. Most tornadoes occur in which country? They occur mostly in the U.S. There are a few that have happened in Australia and Europe, but I really haven't heard of tornadoes in other places. Tornado Alley is the Midwest U.S., sort of like Kansas, Oklahoma, Nebraska. Those are the states where most of the tornadoes happen in the U.S. Tornadoes usually form large clouds with rotating air. This kind of a cloud is called a supercell, and they can be very, very large, almost as large as a county. The exact method for making a tornado is debated. Some say that it's when you have two layers of air that are moving at different speeds, causing the air to rotate or roll at the boundary. So imagine here we have the ground, and we have some trees, and there's a layer of air, and here's the boundary. So this air, let's say, is going that direction, and a very different speed air going in that direction. That might cause a rotating section of air like this, sort of like a log that's rolling on the ground. Once that rolling happens, then wind and rain can push down on one side. Wind and rain pushes on one end, and updraft lifts the other end. And so now we have the tornado. The rating scale for tornadoes is called the Fujita scale, and that measures things from 0 to 5. And this is based on wind speed. The faster the speed, the higher the number. Very similar to the hurricane scales. The strongest, an EF5, is something that has more than 200 miles per hour. The weakest, an EF0, is between 65 and 85 miles per hour. That's also very similar to the weakest hurricanes. The width of a tornado might be up to 2 miles. The world record is 2.5 miles, but it's usually only 3 or 4 football fields wide. The movies oftentimes show them as lasting for hours and hours, but no, tornado usually lasts just a few minutes. 10 minutes, 30 minutes has been known as well. If you hear of a tornado coming your way, if your tornado sirens go off in your neighborhood, it is best to go to a basement. But a lot of buildings don't have basements, and so you go to a room with no windows. That way things won't crash through and hit you, and the shattering glass won't splatter you. The walls may not always be 100% protective, especially if they're just made out of wood, but it's better than nothing. Let's see here, number 13, a microburst causes damage that looks like a tornado, but a microburst is just a fast downdraft. They used to think that a lot of the small damages done were due to small tornadoes, but they have found out that sometimes it's a completely different thing. You have a sudden severe downdraft like this, winds going down, and then they curve as they hit the ground, and then they knock over the trees. Well, they used to think that was just a small tornado, but actually, by looking at how things are flying away from a central location, they realize that it's a different kind of a situation called a microburst. With a tornado, you're going to have things falling over in the same direction for the most part, as the winds are more consistent, going in one direction clockwise or counterclockwise.